Welcome back to the Harold Katz podcast, episode 4 of season 4. Glad you could join us over in Glickman and Kiva Poppers. And of course, Coach, the Macs are still dancing. Why you? On to the Sweet 16. Coach, you had a chance, I'm sure, to watch the game back on delay over there in the Holy Land and then get up late the following night for the second round and stay up or go to sleep early and wake up. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, much better your excitement level, or you're improving. Uh,
Well, I was afraid that you were going to have to find another co-host, so
what's that?
I was afraid you were going to look for another co-host if
We were. I
if
told
I wasn't
Bopper, it's like, we got to
enthusiastic.
get better than this cadaver. Look it up over in cadaver, Google
That's
it.
that's the word of the day for the Harold Katz podcast.
um, I did. I watched it on, I couldn't, like the link Pop gave me was already expired. So you realize that after you did it, Pop?
Well, I realized that because after Shabbos, I was looking for the Montclair State Maine-Farmington leg, and I couldn't find it myself. So,
And then you went, "Hey, coach, sorry I did that to you. You didn't do that." So what I did was I went to just to pimp them. I went to the D3 Hoops website and went to their Friday night board, and they still had games on there. So I watched the game. The problem with doing that is you find out the score, and that was my issue. So I was happy that I was watching a win, but I gotta be honest. I mean, we were just bad, and we were bad all day, all afternoon. I mean, you could tell we're bad. We only had 71, or we
Right.
should, yeah,
So
go
I
ahead.
think a lot of fans and I think a lot of viewers, they just get excited about the Yeshiva win and that they don't get the truth. And on this show, you do
Yeah.
get the truth. So this is very informational to them once
Yeah.
the
I
game
mean, if
starts.
there's other shows that are just, you know, powder puff and everything, look, you are in a situation where survive in advance. Okay. Like that, there are no style points at this point. Like whatever you're doing in March, like if you do that in November, you go back and like we did, we went back November, December, and just said, boy, we got to change some stuff. And we did change some stuff. It's a little late now to change stuff. And you're the best 64 available. Whether you're, you know, computerized the best 60, you're the 64 that earned their way into the tournament. Okay. That being said, God, we were horrible on Friday. What was it? 11 something, 9 at halftime. What was it?
We're up 11 at the half. I think it was 39-28
It was
pop.
like all Zevi, and it wasn't even good Zevi. It was, don't get me wrong, Zevi was great, but we didn't screen, we didn't cut. Everybody stood around and looked. We were watching them. It's like if you go back and watch it, it's the first time since I would say probably before Illinois Wesleyan that we were so bad on the offensive end. It was uninspiring. It was lazy. It was you're in the tournament, you like want to wake the guys up and go, dude, you're in the NCAA tournament. This is why you spend all that time in the gym. This is why you spend all those summers lifting weights. Well, not most of these, but this is why you work out. And you come up and think to join up with that egg. Now, to be fair, Bates is mad physical. And I mean, when you play them NESCAC teams, the teams in that league, you're going to get beat up now. It like they're going to push you around, and this is the NCAA tournament. You have to respond to that. I mean, it was survive in advance, legit survive in advance. It was not. There were no style points, like I've said before. There's no, it was a lousy effort, uninspiring effort. The only thing we did do, which we weren't doing earlier in the year, is we competed. Even when it got out of hand, we stayed in it and competed. So, from that standpoint, you You take the win and you get out of the gym in case they change their mind. That's what you do. And everybody who's at, I got a ton of messages about that foul at the end of the game.
Right.
I mean, he pushed him out of bounds. So you can't call Max out of bounds. There's still time on the clock. You have one choice. That kid gave the referee no choice. The referee would have liked to just let the thing go. But as soon as Max falls out of bounds, and good for Max, and as soon as he's out of bounds, the ref has no choice. He has to make that call. And
Right.
so
Right.
everybody complaining about it, you don't really get the. Let's just say this. Let's say he doesn't call the foul and he calls Max out of bounds, and then they get the ball underneath. Everybody in the gym be like, "That's got to be a foul." He's standing 2 feet on the ground. All of a sudden, he falls down out of bounds, and that's not a foul. So, you know, let me shut that off. Hold on a second. So give me a sec, guys. Um, you gotta kind of understand that like I said, he gave him no choice. Now, we never should have been in that situation. I heard Zebi discuss it, and I get where he was going. He said, like, in the past, we've had no chance to do that in the NCAA tournament. And he just thought, okay, I'm going to shoot it because I'm going to shoot it. I don't think you realize shooting it with 7 seconds is not the greatest decision. But if you really want to see what college basketball is about and the kind of effort you need to be great on this level, is watch Max, who actually goes to the rim on Zevi's shot, if I'm not mistaken,
Right.
right up, and then sprints the floor and gets the rebound. Not only that, but he got the guy off his spot to shoot the ball. That's just effort on a bum toe. I mean, that's why he's Max. You know what I mean? Like that's what he's doing here, and that's why he's the leader of this basketball team. And then knocking the free throws, I think he wanted to miss the second one, but whatever. That's kind of every day. Now, so I watched that one, and I'm just kind of like, I've been through this before. Like, just take the win and get out. The next day, I got up at 3:30, I think, and watched it live.
Well, once a coach, before we get to that,
Yeah.
when did you find out that Montclair lost to Maine-Farmington?
Until when the game was over, uh, I might, I think the scores were next to each other, so I might have caught it on D3 Hoops.
But your first instinct was, hey, I got to watch our game from last night as opposed to watching Maine-Farmington from last night, even though you probably hadn't seen Farmington before.
Yeah, no, I'm watching our game first. Let's find out what we did.
Mm-hmm.
And was that them or was that us? And I think it had something to do with Bates because they're physical and they're tough and they got some guys who can play a little bit and they knock you around now. They keep you from getting to your screens and all that. But there's a way to play against that, and we didn't do that correctly. Then I find okay, so then you got to put Farmington on the television, because I get messages from Ellie who texted me before Shabbos, you know, Max may not go. Can you figure out what we're going to do for Saturday night? Now he's thinking it's Montclair State. And so, it wasn't until I was like 15 minutes into the first half, where I went, oh, I think Ellie doesn't know. I think Ellie's text was something different. So I got that text. I was going to watch them anyway. I wanted to see what they did to Montclair State, and they did exactly what we were going to do: attack the press, score off the press, make them guard you in the half court, which, to be honest, was all over our scouting report. There were things that we do that they were not going to be able to guard. So if we could make them pay for the press, and then when we got to the half court, execute what we want to do, then Montclair State would have some issues. We actually thought we were going to win. I know nobody else in D3 Hoops World thought we were going to beat Montclair State. But like what happened with Hopkins, we kept up our part of the bargain. And, they, like whatever it was, 6, 7 years ago. And Montclair State didn't. And to that point, 15 15 host schools won and are playing this weekend. And we're the only one who kind of screwed that party up. Montclair State screwed the party up. And then the truth is, when I watched there were two kids we really had to worry about that next day. So let me finish. I put that game in. I watched that game. I watched their conference final. I think I watched one or two more before that. And I was kind of like, and then I tried to look at, I did not do that scouting report. So I tried to read that over. But I was not concerned because Ellie was there and Elliot was there, and it was going to have to be a quick, we've done this before kind of thing where, the team you're supposed to play doesn't win. Then you got to make quick work of that scouting report. Meanwhile, we're spending days on Montclair State. Now we spent days on Farming. I don't want to be disrespectful to them, but you kind of figure you're going to their place, they're the host and all that. So we kind of thought,
Right.
okay, we're gonna have to play them, but they of course got beat, and they got beat the way we thought you had to play them. So that was cool for me to see, to watch that game. And my son Donnie texted me at some point and went, "What happened to Montclair State?" And I said, "Read our scouting report. That's what happened to Montclair State."
Hmm.
That's exactly what they did. They made him pay for it. So the kid 40, I'm watching him play Saturday night. I'm going like, all right, he gonna be an issue now. And then the kid 5 didn't have all that great a game that night. But 40 was a problem. Reynolds, I think is his name, gets a lot of rebounds, something we don't do very well. Uh, and can score the ball. The only thing about him was his release was so slow. I thought we could recover on that, whatever it is. So I get up around 3:30. I have some texts from a few people. Um, and Elliot just wanted to make sure we were good to go, and I thought we were good to go. And then it was, we got to be better than we were last night because we stunk last. I mean, we legit were terrible on Friday. I mean, everybody's excited about it, and as well they should be because we won the game.
Well, Coach, just to clarify, we were terrible offensively on Friday.
Yeah, oh yeah, to be fair, yeah. Defensively, I thought we were good. I don't think we were great in the second half. I thought we were good. I thought we were really good in the first half. The second half, you know, second half we did things, or we didn't do things that we usually do in the middle of that run. But to be fair, we strapped up late and found a way to get the win, and that's what you do. But the bottom line is you only gave up 69 points. And that's nowadays with the three and all that, tough thing to do. I know everybody had, all the big mouths had predicted we were going to get beat. So tell the computer, shove it up the computers. So the computer's ass. Computer doesn't know nothing. Oh, it's old computer. No, the computer says -6. Whatever. Shut up. Computer's wrong. Because what the computer can't do is factor in the human element. Computers don't know about heart. They don't know about circumstance. They just take raw data. It's why I hate analytics so much, because analytics only tells you what has happened. It doesn't tell you what will happen. It can give you some statistical probabilities, but those statistical probabilities, almost none of them would have Farmingham winning last week, or Farmham, whatever their name is, Maine. All them,
Farmington.
like, what is it?
Farmington.
Yeah, whatever. The team we beat on Sunday. They don't have any. They don't have any of them winning Saturday night. So, with all due respect to the computer, computers are limited by data, and they can not, you can you can never truly measure the heart of a group, based on their past experiences that the computer wouldn't necessarily understand. Because you just put in raw data and then the computer spits out, well, this is a -6. And then you have some other brilliant prognosticators who thought we were going to get beat. I think they laid the line at -4 or whatever, and they based that on the eye test. And as I told Pop, some people need a new optometrist because that eye test sucked. We beat them. So what's supposed to happen Saturday night? Well, I don't know. I mean, I know, but I don't know what the computer thinks. What was it, +4, Pop?
I believe the computers had us favored by 4 or 5 points.
Is that right? Computer's wrong again then.
Computer didn't get that one right either. Yeah.
Computer was wrong again. They were 0 for Yeshiva last weekend. So I turned it on. I turned the game on. Um, I think from the start, like Zevi hitting that shot, the first one he makes that rolls in or whatever, that's not a good omen for Zevi. Um, I had a bad feeling for Zevi on that shot. And everybody would think, boy, Zevi's on a roll. He just caught a great run. I'm thinking, like, Zevi's usually clean on that shot. He don't usually grab rim early in the game. He's usually clean. So I was a little concerned, and rightly so. But he did a good job of screening, get himself open. And the truth is, we got Zevi really good looks. He just missed them. Sometimes, people forget he's human, and he's 20. He's a young 20 years. What are you, 23, 24? He's just a young kid, but he's a human being. And, I personally think he was tired from the day before. Um, his legs just looked tired. Everything he shot, and this is my point on the first shot that rims in, everything he shot on Saturday night was front rimmed. Every single thing. And if you shoot shots and you're front rimming them, the odds are you're not low enough, or you're not getting enough out of your legs. So you have to make the effort to get more legs, like sit on the shot more, get low. Your front rim and it's consistent is you don't have enough legs. Everybody's worried about their hands and all that. Most people who don't understand shooting will just tell you, oh, it's your hands and you're doing it. No, you don't know what you're talking about. Sit down. It's shooting is all about the feet. I mean, provided your hands are correct, it's basically about the feet and do all your work before you catch it. And in Zebi's case, he usually does his work if he pulls off the dribble during the dribble, so to speak, like during the move. And his step back will be a certain step back. And when he shot him on Saturday night, he was a little too high. Most people won't understand what I'm talking about, but I thought he was a little too high. And then he continued to be high the rest of the game. That's how you go 1 for 10. But to our credit, we were way better Saturday night offensively, and we were really good defensively because we limited them to one shot. And with Reynolds on the floor, that's a difficult thing to do. He's one of the better rebounders in America. Is he like a top 10 rebounder in America, Pop? Do you know that?
I didn't pull the numbers, but averaging 5.5 offensive a game and 16 a game, he has to be.
16 a game, he's going to be in the top 10.
I mean, he's 6'4". Like,
Yeah, it's ridiculous. His
yeah.
motor is just great. And what I think happened was I was texting with a friend of mine at halftime. And I kind of told him, what we've done in the past here is we've kind of let teams get back in the game. The growth of a basketball team will be turn this 13 or whatever it was, I think it was 13, right? To 18-20, because they're going to make a run at us. And when that thing gets down to 10 or 9 or 8, if we answer back a little bit, then we'll keep it at 15-18. Instead, we kicked it to 29. I mean, it was a process. And I thought Yair was ridiculous. I thought Yoa was good, not great. Uh, because look, Yoa's numbers were great. Um, I think he had a good weekend, but the gimmies at the rim, man, that's at some point that's got to stop. Like, let's make those gimmies at the rim. And I thought he was actually good on Saturday night. I think he was okay Friday. I think everybody Friday was watching the ball. And we get in trouble as an offense when everybody watches the ball. Ignore the ball. We're going to bring the ball to you. Just ignore it and do your job. And I think Friday, as bad as we were doing our job on Friday, that's how good as we were on Saturday night. So, and then once we got out, I it's a different team than we were in December. Like once we got it to 20, and we had experienced it the night before by being up double digits and giving that away. I thought, and the thing is, you're up double digits, you give it away, and you come back and you kind of stay in front and win the game. Like, okay, so it's an interesting thing. When um, you're trailing the whole game, and you finally catch up and maybe go up 1, 2, you cannot give up buckets right away because at that point you put so much effort to make it a game that you're just kind of dragging. Like we need to pull ourselves past the finish line, and Bates couldn't do that, and we responded. I don't even know if it was Zevi. Maybe it was Zevi. Um,
At which part of the game? I believe they had two leads.
when it was 66,
67, 66, Zevi hit
yeah,
the step back three over
the
Pui.
three, right? Yeah,
And they
yeah,
tied the game with 20 seconds left, but they never.
right. So that's what I mean. Like you're just trying to stay in the game a little bit, And the real opportunity was with 7 seconds ago.
It felt like, well, I will say, it felt like if Zevi does not hit that shot, that Bates wins.
I mean, I'm not confident enough to make that commentary.
No, well, I mean,
A few read. I mean,
yeah.
the argument is, well, Zevi doesn't hit that shot. I mean, Zevi's 7 for 13, I think, 3 on the day,
Yeah.
something in that neighborhood. So,
Yeah.
dude, he had a 50% shot of hitting the shot, Pop.
I'm not that in that. I'm saying the possession was it was a poor possession.
Right. I think the whole night were poor possessions. That's my point. Like the whole night was poor possessions. And the whole day, the next day, were great possessions. Like our execution was great in the first half. Took a minute, I think, to grab control of the game. And our execution in the second half was surgical. I would guess that shot chart in the second half, I think maybe we shot 7, 9 threes the whole half, almost all of them from Zevi. I think Yair shoots 1. I don't know if anybody else shot another. So Zevi's just trying to get undone here. And the rest of the shots are in the paint. Maybe Yair hits a mid-range, but I doubt it. Everything else is at the rim. And when my text that night was, could we stop messing around and just go? I'm a little upset with Yoa because Reynolds is giving him 4 inches, and Yoa's standing on the perimeter throwing the thing all over the gym. I'm like, dude, get inside. Let's the great thing about what our offense can do is it's an accordion, and unlike every other team where you got to call a play or whatever, we can actually just run our stuff and go where we need it to go. And the guys have gotten really good at understanding where it needs to go, who the hot man is, riding the hot man, and so I thought the game on this Sunday was actually kind of awesome. Like a Saturday night. Was just the execution was great, the recognition was great, the teamwork was great. We passed the basketball, we defended it. Not a lot of you get 16 from Zevi and you scored 91. That's a new, that means everybody's playing pretty well. And Pop, what did we have, 10 turnovers or something?
I can check, but I believe in both the games this weekend we had 11 or fewer.
Yeah. So you're doing that. You're playing pretty good basketball, and it's kind of what it's going to take this weekend. But as good, that's pretty much my assessment. As good, as bad as we were Friday, that's how good we were on Saturday night. It's a pretty long answer for that question, isn't it? Where's our host?
Yeah, come on, Oren. You're the one who's supposed to reply. I'm just the guy who's.
Oh, no,
I want
listen, you did touch up on something earlier that really, these runs, you know, the Sweet 16 run a couple of years ago, pre-COVID, it really is crazy, because we did go in thinking we were going to play Hopkins, and then we ended up playing Penn State Harrisburg, and now it happened again here with Farmington instead of Montclair, and now we go into this playing. I think Randolph-Macon were number one back then, and now Emory are number are
Make,
number
to
are
Macon was
number two.
Macon was three, but same
I think it
idea.
was three. Okay.
hey,
Yeah, same idea. Single game.
Yeah, but it's kind.
stream
What?
alert, fellas. We are about to get bombed. How about that? All right.
Oh boy.
Sorry for the interruption, but we're here. Go ahead.
No, so obviously we're not going to show our cards, in terms of our prep for the Emory game, but you know, what's the mindset, like how do we, I think there are a lot of people excited, but there are also people who want to be practical and how to tackle an opponent like this.
Right. So let's be clear. What were they? Were they two back then, Pop? Macon?
Macon was three, and Emory here is two.
Emory's two here.
No, I know that, but what was Macon when we played them? They were three. We were supposed to play them.
They were three. Yeah.
Yeah, with all due respect to Josh, I think I've said it on the podcast. I thought we were in really good shape with that. I was excited about that weekend. We had a good plan. Now that we've seen their scouting report, kind of felt even better about our plan because I think if that was the way they were going to approach us, they were going to have some issues. That being said, they were really good, and we knew they were really good, but we also knew the rest of the teams in the field. And as I've told you before, we were the now 15 teams, 15 other teams can say this, but we saw all of them, and they were all going to have some issues with us. We were a terrible matchup for them. This group here, boy, they are loaded, and I mean loaded. But we're not going to run away. Like if people think we're going to run away because we're playing Emory, or they think that we're going to,
It's not the
go
mentality. It's not the Jewish mentality altogether.
Yeah, I know. Well, it used to be, I think, like YU basketball used to be a bit cowardly. Wouldn't, I'm not afraid to say it. Anybody doesn't like it too bad. But you wouldn't play teams that, were out of your league. Like what I mean by not out of your conference, but I mean out of your league. Like I had discussions with a former coach of yeshiva who would who wouldn't want to play us when I was at Goucher because he thought we were too good. Well, I mean that the truth is that's why we are what we are now, and we weren't then because there was an old approach. Like we're Jewish, they're not. we have Seder and whatever. There's always excuses, but there's never a plan. And I'm like, we have all that and we can still win. So we did not cower, and we ended up going out and getting our face kicked in, especially the early years before all these guys were having podcasts. No one cared about us. They were used to the old yeshiva. And at some point, you know, we got, I think Williams was the first team that agreed to play us.
So Williams and Ramapo.
Yeah, but they were playing Ramapo for years. That wasn't new.
Happened to be that Ramapo was really good.
Yeah, it just happened. They kind of looked into that,
Yeah, Williams.
but
We played them when they were, I want to say, number 3 and number 8.
something like that. And we gave them a run too. But it used to be a big deal when you played Connecticut College. I remember how excited Elliot was that we were playing Connecticut College. I'm looking at and here's the difference thing where I am. I'm looking at their record, and I'm kind of going like, we're excited about these guys. Now we ended up losing to them, but I'm kind of like, how are we excited about this? This cannot be what we're after. And I've talked about this on the podcast before. We had a discussion about how do you get where you need to go, like how do you get to play Emory? Just go get your face kicked in. Let's find out who we are and where we have to be someone else. And to that point, with a lot of Pop's big mouth and putting his nose where it doesn't belong, we lined up games this year where 6 of those teams that we played, 6 of the 7 NCAA teams we were playing are still playing. As a matter of fact, I would even say,
And the coach, the 7th lost to one of the 6.
yeah. 7th lost to Wesleyan, right? NYU. So the only reason the 7th isn't there is because they lost to one of the 6 that are left. And here's the thing: I don't think there's any other team in the entire tournament that went out of conference and played 7. Am I right, Pop? And played and had 7 opponents
Right.
for the NCAA tournament.
I'm sure there definitely are teams in the tournament that played that many teams which are in the tournament, but that's because they're in the
They're
UAA.
in conference play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because of conference play. And I'd even argue, I'm not sure you're right. Like maybe the UAA has 2 or 3 teams, but what are they playing afterwards? I mean, NYU's playing us.
I get it, but like the NESCAC has 5 teams in the tournament. That means 4 of their games
Yeah,
are
no, that's fair. No, that's
in
fair.
non-conference play. No,
No, it's not even close. So
no.
why did we do that? We did that for this weekend. We did that for last weekend. We did that because a year ago, we couldn't handle that. And now this group matured, understood, went through 1-8. I got to be honest, it's one of the greatest coaching jobs I've ever seen. To go 1-8 and turn around and go whatever 21 was that 21-0 since maybe we were 2-8.
It's because 2 of those non-conference games were in the middle of the skyline. But if you exclude the Illinois Wesleyan game, it was 1-6, and then since then it's 21-2, of which those 2 are Illinois
Yeah,
Wesleyan, who are still playing.
right. So there's a lot to be said for the coaching job that this staff has done, and you I would say everything we've done for the last I'm as 11 years, including COVID, has led to we're not going to be afraid to play. In other words, everybody's telling us, we're going to get our face kicked in. I think the Nerd podcast had us at -11.
Well,
Right?
you have to give credit to the Snyders. They picked Yeshiva to make the Sweet 16.
Hey guys, listen to my neighborhood. So you guys want to wait, or we could log? What would you like to do?
Can't hear the bombs from there, but if you want, we can just pause this and continue once you get
We
out.
could pause it. Give me about 10, 15 minutes, I think.
Sounds good. I'll pause it right
I'll be back. If not, just end the show.
now. If not, Jeez.
Should be back. Should be back, guys. But
Well,
can
this
you
is
hear
the
it?
first time on the podcast.
That's right. Leave it in, Bob. Don't, what do you call it? Don't edit it. I'll be back, guys.
All right, well, I can't believe it, but we've been doing the show with Coach since his move to Israel for over a year, but we finally got interrupted by Coach having to go into the bomb shelter.
Yep.
Coach, glad you're back, glad you're safe. There's always a first time for everything with this show. I believe we
Yep.
left off on, Randolph Macon had the hype a couple years back when Tom
Yeah.
wanted
Well,
him
that
to
was
win.
it wasn't so much hype, Corin. They were really good.
They were very legit. They were very legit,
Yeah,
and this Emory team is very legit from everything we
really legit.
understand.
Like
Right.
they're really good, really quick at the guard spot, really athletic, can shoot the ball a little bit. Like they do stuff that's very difficult to play against. But if people think because some computer thinks we're going to get drilled on Friday that we ain't going to show up, they're crazy. Like the last thing we are right now is afraid. You know, like the truth is you can say anything you want, but you have to go out there and do it. So while I'm saying that, I just think experience counts for something. And when you play as many games as we played against the teams that we played, you know, I get that we got drilled by Macon and Trinity, but I would argue we're doing things totally different on both ends of the floor now. One is ball doesn't stick much anymore, except if we want it to. Um, no one has to fight for theirs. It just happens. The ball moves, reverses. There's nobody who's trying to change things or whatever. And more importantly, we couldn't stop a cold in December, and now we're finding ways to get big stops and everybody's rebounding. And if we can limit them, they're great on the glass. They're difficult to deal with, but I like what we have going on and I like what we've put together, and I'm excited to see how this plays out. Unfortunately, I won't see till Saturday night, but you know, what is it, 1 o'clock, Pop?
Yeah, 1 o'clock on Friday. Coach, I'm
Yeah.
curious what your message is to the mathematicians, given that there are some common opponents here, and obviously mathematicians love common opponents. Emory beat Bates 104 to 66, and then beat NYU by 12 one game and 23 another game. So,
Right. So we call that idiot math.
right. So explain. Can you explain to the mathematicians why that's idiot math? And
Well,
yeah,
it's idiot. It's simple idiot math. First of all, the Bates game, I believe, was the front end of Emory's home tournament, something like that. Um, I don't think that's the same Bates team that went 17-1. Uh, I also I also think conference play is irrelevant. Like you take conference play and throw it out. It because you know conference opponents are just
They're
throw.
familiar with each other.
Yeah, you don't totally throw it out. It's not fair, but it's idiot math because I beat you by 12 and you beat down by 8, so I should be down by 20. Well, it doesn't count for matchups. It doesn't count for pace of play. It doesn't account for your addition by subtraction on your own team. It doesn't account for the fact that, for the record, you both beat Bates, period. You both beat NYU, period. Final scores, as Sean McVay says, statistics are for losers. The only thing that counts is winning and losing. That is it. Now, by definition, you could define some of the things that are going on. Like you're shooting, like we did a couple of years ago, we're shooting 54% from the floor. We're pretty good. Now, it tells you what kind of shots you're getting. Okay. So, um, um,
You're saying analytics?
Yeah, analytics tells you. Let's go back to the common opponent things. Look, if we turn around and lose by 48, you know, then I'll I probably won't re-examine it, but there'll be reasons why. I don't think we're losing by 48. I I mean, according to the mathematicians, we shouldn't even show up because of our common opponents. It's the dumbest argument in the world. There are dumber ones, like every time you wear blue with your white socks, they're dumber ones, but this one, well, you can look at common opponents and then I don't even know in what sport. I don't know in what sport common opponents um, defines your game against that opponent. In other words, we know how Bates played them because we watched it. We know how NYU played them because we watched it. We also know how other teams play them who are not common opponents because we watched it. You can't account, common opponents doesn't account for preparation, for the same ideas in preparation, part, status of your team at the time of the game. Like example, um, let's say you're Indiana circa, I don't know, what's that, 92? They were just the best team in America. And then Alan Henderson tore his ACL. Yeah, I think it was his ACL. He had some kind of injury. And when he left that team, they ended up going to the Elite Eight, but he came back and was a shell of himself because he was trying to play through injury. And he ended up being a draft pick of the Atlanta Hawks and playing in the league for a while. But they were the best team in America when he was a freshman or a sophomore. And then, so the common opponent plays them in November, and Indiana kicks their face in, or they play him after Henderson gets hurt, and you know the score's different, but it's because the matchup's different because Henderson's not there. So if you played us before Illinois Wesleyan, we're a different team after Illinois Wesleyan. So if you played us before, whatever, play us now. Now is when you play us. If you're not, look, here's the bottom line. If you're playing your best basketball in December, you're going nowhere. So I think we're playing our best basketball right now. The goal of every team is to play your best basketball right now. And I just find the common opponent argument is a low-hanging fruit, non-thinking man's argument. Because you don't understand the intricacy of a scouting report. You don't understand the intricacy of matchups. You don't understand pace of play. You don't understand personnel. You don't understand, things that you're trying to accomplish now that you couldn't do then and vice versa. You understand? So I get it, but I don't put a lot of stock into it. Um, what was the final score in the Bates game? They lost by like 40,
104
35.
6.
What's that?
104 to 66. Emory shot 60% from three, and Bates shot like 15%.
Right. So something Bates didn't do the whole rest of the year,
Right.
and something that Emory didn't do the whole rest of the year, right? Because it was their tournament opener, and
The
the
holiday.
whole holiday tournament, exactly. So they brought Bates in so they could kick their face in, and maybe Bates learned from that and became better because of that. And that's things that. So when you play Bates, they're a way different team than when they play Bates. When you played NYU, you were a way different team than when they played NYU. And I'd even argue we're a much better team than the one that played NYU. So really, you know, it's a non-thinking man's argument, and you know, we're not running a non-thinking man's program on either side of the ball. So, with all due respect to the brilliant ones in analytics, let's play the game. Let's roll it out, see if we can compete. If they beat us by 30, it should beat us by, according to the argument, they should beat us by 36.
Well, the computers are say like 15. But Bob Coleman says thoughts and prayers.
Right. So that's the guy who needs the optometrist, right? Is it thoughts and prayers based on the eye test or based on the computer? Which one is it? Please ask. Is it the eye test that's telling us thoughts and prayers? And you tell Quillman the Jewish people are, well, we appreciate the prayers. If it's for basketball, you can keep it. I mean, there's other things you can do with it, but you know, I kind of like Bob a little bit, legit a little bit, Bob. But you could take your thoughts and prayers and shove them up your ass. We're
This will never be an analytics show.
we're still going to show up and play, even with Bob burying us before the body's even cold. We'll still be there, and let's see what happens. It might be if the game's listen here. If the game's tight in the last 5 minutes, I mean the
A
pressure
lot to be
switches.
proud of.
Nah, screw that. We're trying to win. The home team's feeling all the pressure.
Right.
This not go up there and look good. This go up there and go to Elite Eight. Like I want to go to Elite Eight because it would mess up the NCAA so bad and how they'd have to schedule. Is it Thursday, Saturday,
Yeah,
Pop?
it's
Yeah.
Thursday, Saturday. So if we get to Saturday, either if we went on, I guess the scenario is this: we went on Thursday. Either we're playing Thursday evening, Friday afternoon, or we're playing Thursday evening, Saturday night, like 10:30 p.m.
Wow.
What's up?
10:30 p.m. because it's in the East Coast, but it's all the way. It's right on the line.
Yeah, I'm
So
not even sure Indiana moved the clock.
we're waiting until like
They
8:45.
used to not. Indiana used to be, I believe they were the only state in the union that didn't move the clock. But I think part of it does
Yes,
and part of it
Arizona,
doesn't.
coach.
Yeah.
Arizona didn't move the clock.
Coach, do you not like that the Elite Eight and Sweet 16 are on different weekends?
Um, I mean, I like the fact that you only have to prepare for one team. I hate the fact that that team is number two in the country. But, you know, if you're gonna prepare for them, you may as well do it. May as well prepare for the best. Like, it's why we're playing. Like, I don't know what everybody thinks. Like, we're not trying to play, you know,
No, listen, we're here because
I'm
of
at state. We're not trying to play them.
what we've been doing the last couple of years in regards to the non-conference schedule.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why we're here. One is we stopped being as stupid as we used to be. Two is we started to guard. Three is everybody's in a buy-in mode now. And buy-in has gotten you to the Sweet 16. You want to go to the Elite Eight, stay bought in. No hero. We don't need hero ball. You know. Yeah, I mean, there's a part of me that wants to do them both on the same weekend, but why not? Let's see if we can shake this thing up and ruin Emory's year and go ruin somebody else's year in the Elite Eight. Maybe it's Illinois Wesleyan. That'd be cool.
I know a lot of people who will love that.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers, bro. You know what I mean? Like that would be cool, being that there's no other way to slice this. They left there lucky that we were still stupid at the time. They
Mhm.
left New York. That was Escape from New York too. Like they never should have won the game. They know it, and we know it. I don't care.
So it'd be great for the script to run it back.
Well, you don't get there till you beat Emory, and that's a task that look, you want that. That's why you play. You want to play the best. Well, let's find out how good we really are. Like we put in a lot of time this year, and And I think the computer told us we were going to win by 4. What did we win by, Pop? 20 something?
That's right.
So we're a little different than what the computer thinks we are too. I'm proud of these guys. You know, I was patient with them freshman and sophomore year, but they got everything they deserved last year. They got everything they deserved this year in preseason.
And hopefully more.
Well, I'm saying I was not gentle with them. I was nice.
No, no, you were during the beginning of the season in terms of our episodes, you were pretty tough on them.
Well, because you're playing to compete, and we didn't compete, and we were doing dumb stuff on the defensive end. I'm glad we changed it. It was the best thing that happened to us. If you ask me, the best thing that happened to us was making changes defensively and not living with that stupidity we were doing before. It's one, you have to have KYP. You got to know your personnel. We didn't have the personnel to run what we were running, besides the fact that it's from 1971. But we didn't have the personnel to run it. And now what we're doing makes more sense for our personnel. Like that might have been a great idea, but we didn't have the dogs to do that. We are limited in what we can do. There's a reason our offense runs the way it runs. I think other people should do it, but if they don't want to, we're fine with that. We'll keep kicking your ass and moving on, you know. But we have to do things because we don't have what the rest of the world has. We just don't. So don't apologize for it. Just keep doing it until they figure it out.
Right.
And the learning curve, as I said, is extremely steep. As Zebby and Max testified to last week, it's very steep. It's complicated simplicity is the best way to say it. And you have to be all in. If you're not all in, it's going to bite you. And thank God, I think everybody's all in, and we've adapted to some things. People think they understand and they don't, but we did what we we've made. I give the coaching staff credit. They've made smart decisions here in the
Mhm.
last 5 months. You got to know when you're beat. Got to know when you're stinking the joint up, and you got to have the balls to change it. And we did that, and I'm proud of these guys because I think here's the most important thing. I think last year we did play like we were happy to be there in the NCAA tournament. I think this year we played to let the country know we belong in the NCAA tournament. If you get to I don't care who you're playing, you get to the round of 32, you're one of the better teams in America, period. Drop the mic. You get to the round of 16, there are not a lot of people who can tell you they're better than you are. Well, your draw. Well, look, we didn't put this team in front of us. The NCAA did. And the NCAA assumed that there were two teams in our pod that were going to kick our ass. We assumed different. We win. NCAA loses. So we kind of pissed on that parade. Is everything chalk, Pop, except Redlands?
Even Redlands, which is 16 NPI as opposed to Hood, 17 NPI. The game was at Hood, so
Right. So
every
everything is basically chalk.
every were there upsets here and there? Yes, but in terms of uh,
Sweet 16, everything is chalk.
every host got through except for one.
So ones and twos are still alive.
It's no, there's no twos alive. It's just ones and threes. I mean, if you're doing four in a pod, you understand?
I get it.
Okay, and if you're counting 1 through 16, it's
No,
one.
I'm talking about even
Like
in
what seed are we? Are
even
we a 3 or a 12? Why do you consider us
consider us a 12.
a 12? So then you got 1, 2, 3s, and 4s, and you got a 12.
Right, that's what I meant.
That's right.
Like all the ones, twos, and threes, and all four
1, 2,
reasons are
1,
in.
well, 1, 2, 3s, and 4s are in. Yeah, there's 3, 4, 3, 1, 3 2s, 3 3s. Sorry, 4 1s,
Four
4
ones,
4
four
3s,
twos,
Four threes, three fours, one 12.
and 112. And that's us. So that's what I meant. I'm like, I, the quadrants are relevant. That's just a whole school situation. But it's where'd you see us in the country? So we're the only double-digit team left. We're the only
We're the
four and
only
under
team.
team left.
Only, yeah. I mean, technically, Hood is a five who hosted, and that's how the bracketing is. So there are five that hosted, but yeah,
Okay,
we're the
so
only team above a five that's in. No
yeah,
sixes, no sevens,
not apologizing for that.
six,
And the
seven.
NCAA put everybody in front of us, and we beat them. So Bob don't like it. Bob can take it up with his boys at the NCAA. My thing is, everybody got a plan until you punch them in the mouth. Well, let's punch them in the mouth and see what happens to your plan. You know what I mean? So there are every so often the lion got to let the jackal know exactly who he is. That's what I'm saying. So Pete Carrill had a saying, "The smart take from the strong." I'll leave it at that. And I'm good.
All right. Well, before we wrap up, any thoughts about the league that you can't stand, the NBA, and Bam Adebayo becoming the second
Second
of
guy
all
to
time?
score 80 points.
Yeah,
No.
nothing to say. The league still sucks.
I mean, like it's leagues totally sucks. Like I mean, good for him. It's hard to do. It's hard to do, but yawn. If the league sucks, it's just not. It's not a watchable product
Right.
outside of Sephardic Jews in Brooklyn and Israelis. It's not a watchable product.
I think we always end every episode with the NBA is horrible and Tucker Carlson sucks.
Yes. Well, uh, he does. I call them the Three Stooges at this point. Megyn Kelly being the third, which is very painful to me because I really liked her. But you know, th- here's the problem for all of them. We're still here, and they're bombing us, as you heard.
We
And
experienced it. We had
there
to
you
take a
go.
commercial break.
There you go. Like they're bombing us, and they're trying to get rid of us. And the damn Jews just never go away. We're like the world's cockroach.
We're not going away in the dance. We're not going away in life. We're not going anywhere.
Well, we're going to keep on trying. Over here, the Jews are home. The land testifies that we are the people who deserve to be here. And not only that, but there's a verse in Numbers. Uh, um, they are a nation that dwells alone, and no one will reckon them. I believe that's being played out in front of us on the world stage. No one, it's like Tobias Singer says, no one's parv on the Jews. Like Chinese, you have an opinion? I don't know, maybe Japan, I don't know, maybe Russia, Ukraine, I don't know, maybe Jews, you either hate them or you love them, period. Everybody got something to say. That's biblical. And I would just argue that everybody who has a problem with us, just read your Bible. Because everything that's happening today has been foretold before. And if you only read certain verses in the Old Testament, you wouldn't know what the rest of it has to say. So, my thing is, um, God has returned us to this land, and it's not easy. I was supposed to come to America today. I was supposed to be in America tonight. Like by this time now, I would have flown into Jersey. Supposed to fly into Jersey and be in Baltimore by 11 o'clock in the morning. What is it now over there? 2:30.
Yeah.
So we'd have been there, 6, 7 hours. Our flight got canceled, did not get reassigned. What does that mean, Pop?
6, 7.
I want to shut up. Did not get reassigned. We're gonna miss our. At this point, we're missing our grandson's bar mitzvah. So it is quite sad and painful. But you know, is what it is. I think there's bigger things going on in the world.
If it gets
Yeah.
reassigned for next week, are you coming to Fort Wayne?
What's that now?
If we can get out of this weekend and your flight gets assigned for next week, are you coming to Fort Wayne?
I don't want to tell my wife anything just yet.
Gotta wait and see. Well, obviously, Coach will be on delay, but for those out here, the game is at 1 o'clock on Friday against Emory. For those on the West Coast, the game is at 10 a.m. We hope everybody who does not have Sabbath obligations will tune in live to cheer on our YU Max for Oren Glickman and Kiva Poppers, and of course, Coach Katz. Episode 4, Season 4 is in the books. Thanks as always for tuning in.
All right, guys.